going through this the other day, and we read what Dad had said. And remember, we read out your poem as well, which was beautiful. Right, and then Pauline's nephew, who you met, Jack, wanted to share his thoughts about Grandpa, just so that we can see how your pointing is today. Pauline's nephew is called, what was his name? You're there. J, A, C and K. Yes, his nephew is called, Pauline's nephew was called Jack. And he knew Grandpa quite well. Grandpa had helped him a lot. So, he said, for those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm Jack and Finny was my uncle. We all have great memories with Finn, and it's lovely to share those individual stories to celebrate him today. It's funny the way they call Grandpa Finny, isn't it? Finny was a great uncle. When I was a child, I have fond memories of staying with Pauline and Finny in Portsmouth. They were the fun uncle and aunt, and they would always spoil me, and we had great fun together. He took me fly fishing as a child and was a very patient teacher. He always hooked the fish and then helped me reel them in, but always letting me take the credit. We would then bring the rainbow trout back, and Pauline prepared and cooked our catch for a very nice dinner, something we talked of fondly always and discussed doing one day again. So one of the things that Grandpa taught Jack was what? Oh, you're thirsty. Why you hadn't got yourself a drink? One of the things that Grandpa taught Jack was F, I, S, H, I. After the I would be N and then G. Yeah, one of the things he taught was fishing. Right, so more recently my partner Evie and I have had great days and evenings with Pauline and Finny at their house in Portsmouth, Gunwharf in the sun and at the Van in Southsea, having one too many drinks and just enjoying each other's company, with Finny always lighting the room up with fantastic stories. I think Pauline and Finny might know just about everyone around Gunwharf, and every time they were always greeted with open arms when we went out. Finny spoke often about family and close relationships and how much he loved Portsmouth and Gunwharf and the great time he and Pauline had together. Finn and I would often laugh when he would be talking and Pauline wouldn't hear and would talk over Finny. He'd look at me, roll his eyes and keep trying but often not manage to finish, and we'd laugh together. We often stayed up until the early hours of the morning just chatting and putting the world to rights. Finny was the most quick-witted, sharpest person I've met, and his stories would always be as interesting as his quick wit. Quick wit. What would you say is another way of saying quick wit? H U M O is humour, yes. Quick wit equals humour. Finny always said exactly what he thought or what one of us wanted to say, and was a strong defender of people and building people up. And we always had very honest and open conversations with each other and strong respect for one another. He was a strong role model to me with his no messing around attitude, and he never complained. So one of the things that Jack really liked about Grandpa was what? His H-O-N-E-S-T is honesty. T-O-2-S-A-Y to say. T-H-I-N after N, T-H-I-N. Touch that N again. Oh, here, use a pencil if you like. See if that helps. Touch the N again. T-H-I-N. Next letter would be G-S. Okay, let me just write that down. One of the things he really respected was his honesty. Oh, thank you. To say things W-H-I-C-H, which O-T-H-E-R-S, which others, W-O-U-L-D, would, N-O-T-S-A-Y. His honesty to say things which others would not say. Some people might say that that's being a bit too blunt or too rude. I'll get your opinion on that in a minute. There. Here we are. Recently, Finny and I watched the film The Cruel Sea together, and Finny would relive and talk through how accurate this film was to real life. I'll treasure the time I had with him, and of course it's never enough, but the memories and his strong character and values he's left behind we'll hold on to. I want to leave with you one story from when I visited Pauline and Finny as a child in Portsmouth. We were sat around the table after a fishing trip, eating, and I was being hyper after one too many fizzy drinks and nattering on as kids do. I suddenly stopped and looked at Finny and said, "Sorry, I'm talking absolute shit." And Finny looked straight at me and said, "But is it quality shit?" We laughed and agreed it could be quality. And he said, "Well, that's fine. Carry on." So, any comments at all on Jack's speech to Grandpa, about Grandpa at the service? I-T-P-A-I. Is that D or E? P-A-I-D. It paid. A-F-I-T-T-I-N-G. It paid a fitting. T-R-I. T-R-I. Keep it going. B. After the B. T-R-I. B. I'll give you more feedback. U. T-E. It paid a fitting tribute. Paid a fitting tribute. Any more? T. 2. A. W. O. N. W. N. D. E. R. F. U. L. To a wonderful M. Jack would be really pleased to hear that. It paid a fitting tribute to a wonderful man. Okay, should we just read a bit more? So then Pauline spoke. I don't know if you remember that. Oh, try not to bite that too much. Smooth it off with a, got a bit of rough, hasn't it? Maybe if we just smooth it off with the file, that will help you to stop picking it too much. Stop it getting on your nerves anyway. Okay, so then Pauline said, "Hello, thank you all for being here today. Today is a celebration of Vinny's life. He would want it to be, and I certainly do. He was very poorly the last 3 years and never complained. We both decided to take every day as it comes and live life to the full. That we certainly did, and I have very precious memories of our quality time together. Please remember all the good times you've spent in Vinny's company. I would like to say a big thank you to all of you who were so supportive as his health deteriorated, and for the enormous support given to me in the last few weeks since his death. It is very much appreciated. Let us all celebrate his wonderful life." There, that was nice. It was very brave, really, of Pauline to be able to stand up and say something, because often at people's funerals, the people who are the closest to the person who's died find it too emotional to stand up and say anything. I remember at my mum's funeral, I didn't. You know, we just had the man read out what we'd written. So it was very brave. And it was a lovely day where we celebrated. So let's go on. So then the celebrant carried on. He said, "I'm going to pause the ceremony now," and we spent some time looking at some memories, looking at some photographs. Pauline's going to send me a copy of the little video that they showed so we can watch it together, because I know that you weren't really focused on being able to watch it, but you were on the photographs with him, so that will be nice to see. Right, and then this is what the celebrant said. "My discussions with Pauline have enlightened me to the loss you must all feel in your lives. His ability to say what others felt but perhaps didn't have the nerve or diplomacy to say. His way of encouraging, supporting and giving affirmation to others at times when those in receipt needed it most. His wit, born of an intelligent mind. The huge influence he had on many people and the faith he had in others, giving confidence to achieve and making a huge impact on their lives. This all constitutes an unconditional love for those closest to him. Above all, the adoration that he and Pauline showed for each other is palpable in conversations with Pauline and in listening to the contributions today." And now we move to formally say our goodbye, and we all stood up. "Anthony Finesse, we're truly grateful for your life, for your contribution to our lives and to the world. We're not gone, rather you will be in our minds and in our hearts. May you rest in peace." There we are. And then he said, "Understand the words of Vinny's grandson Chris. Time is too precious to lose. Savour each moment. Whatever and however you move forward, do it with gratitude, and gratitude. We've been lucky enough to be part of his life. He was a special man, and you don't need me to tell you that." There we go. Turn around then. Sit down again. There. Anything else you'd like to say, or any other, just I don't know, any other thoughts? G R A N D A Grandad W A Grandad was a T. Go with the T again. T, E, R, I, F, I. Touch the I again. I was a terrific. I, N, F, L, U, E, N, C, E, it's a terrific influence, O, N, M, A, N, Y, on many, P, E, O, O, come on, after the O would be P, L, E, S, L, I, V, E, S. Grandpa was a terrific influence on many people's lives. Well, I am P R O. Would you mind holding that because your hand's going a bit tilted? P R, touch the O again. O, U, I am proud. T, O, B, E, to be. H, I, S, his. G, R, A, N, D, S, O, N. Grandad was a terrific influence on many people's lives. I am proud to be his grandson. Have you got anything else that you wanted to say? It's up to you, or you might be finished. You can just tell me. Oh yeah. I, W, what? I, S, H, I wish. I, H, A, D, had. S, S, E, okay, you touched an O, but carry on. S, E, go on. E, seen. H, I, M, seen him. M, O, R, E, more. O, F, T, E, F. Ah, that's a nice thing to say. I wish I had seen him more often. Okay. Now tell me, do you want to say any more, or have you finished? Which one? Finished, okay. That was very nice, very good. Let's do a little bit of reading, a little something else.